Okay, so sorry about that. We got cut off there, but we're just going to wrap up this video. So as I was saying, that different types of matter will have different properties. And then what we do is we look at patterns in the types of property, in the properties that we see for the types of matter. And that allows us to classify them, sort of group them together into certain families. And with that classification, once we know what family that type of matter is in, we can use that to make predictions about how we could use it, or also how do we study it. All right, the last thing you're going to do is you're going to try the CFU. Using your prior knowledge, list all the physical properties of table salt. So for anything you're not sure of, you can write TBD, which stands for to be determined, and then explain how you were able to determine, like, what tests would you do, or how do you know it fits this property. And the properties that we're looking at are listed here just to make it easier for us. All right, so pause the video now, and when you press play again, we'll come back together and see what the answers are. Okay, so here are the answers. The first thing, for color, you look at it and you would say it's white, because that's, you can just look at it. And the phase, we know it's a solid. Again, from just either looking at it and feeling it, we know table salt is a solid. Melting point, we saw that before. It's actually a relatively high melting point. You may not have known that, so maybe you would have written TBD for there. But if you go back in the previous slides when we were talking about melting points and phases, the melting point for table salt was pretty high. It was like in the thousands. It's also not shiny. It doesn't reflect light, so it's dull. You may know that it's brittle, because if you were to take salt and you were to hit it, it's not going to bend or whatever. It's going to break apart. So that means it's brittle. If you hit it and it breaks apart, it's brittle. Soluble means that it dissolves in water. So if you take table salt and you dissolve it in water, it will dissolve. Like if you mix it with water, it will dissolve. So that's why we know it's soluble. And then density, that actually wasn't listed before. Sorry about that. But if you did write that one down as one of the things you were looking at. Again, you could either look that up, or maybe you would write TBD for this, because, hey, maybe you're not sure about the density of it. All right, so these are all sort of like the properties that we can test just from looking at table salt. And later we'll learn in this unit, it's how these properties match the type of substance table salt is. All right, so our objectives were to define matter, and we just went through the properties of matter and how to test for these properties. And this will help prepare us for our overall goal, which is creating an experiment where we can identify an unknown substance by testing its properties. And these are all the physical properties that we talked about and ways to test them. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. Have a quality day.